Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Geeks on the Roundtable. My name is Ren. My co-host Zach is running a little bit late, and we got a whole ton of stuff to talk about today. Now, before we start, don't forget to like this video and share with your friends and bring them over to become Geeks of the Roundtable and start throwing in your questions in the comments below for us to answer on the back half of the show, of course, because we always love answering your live questions. And we're not alone today. We got a guest today. This is a friend of mine. Who's a filmmaker like me. He's also he's not in England right now, but he's also moved to England to take a master's, very similar to mine, but I'm going to let him take over the introductions. This is João. How you doing, my friend?
Hi, everyone. My name is João Magalhães. I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me on the podcast again. It's very, very cool to be talking with you guys today.
Oh, it's our pleasure, man. And it's funny because you and I have known each other for quite a while, at least a few years. But this is, I believe, it's the first time we're like talking face to face, even at social distancing.
True. No, it's true. I've seen your channel quite a lot of times over the past few years. We never spoke to one another like this.
No.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah, and let us know a little bit about the course you're taking over in England.
Oh yeah, so I'm studying film production. It's this 3 years course, and I'm doing it because I want to be a director, like yourself. And it's been great. It's tough because right now I had quite a lot of films in pre-production that I wanted to shoot in the past few months. They all had to be canceled or delayed. But it's been great, It's been an amazing experience in reality.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. And of course, the co-host is here, fashionably late.
Yeah.
Zach Pope, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, more laptop issues, man. More laptop issues. But
No
I made it. So
all good with you?
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
It's gonna be a fun discussion, dude.
And of course, again, everyone, don't forget to like and share the video and start throwing in questions. And of course, comment on the topics as we go through them because we want to know your thoughts on them as well. Gentlemen, you know all the topics we have to discuss, but there's something that we got to talk about off the top because J.K. Simmons was in an interview with the Jess Cagle show, and this is a direct quote. He says he's going to be in more Spider-Man movies. He says, well, yeah, I'll be back as Jameson. That's the short answer. There is a future for J. Jonah Jameson after a several-year hiatus. He showed up very briefly for those who were wise enough to stay through the credits of Far From Home. There is one more JJJ appearance in the can, and from what I'm hearing, there's planned for yet another. So hopefully JJJ will continue now and forever. Zach, how do you feel about more JJJ cameos played by J.K. Simmons?
So I gotta say, I heard that there was a big thing at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be Osborn. It's got to be Osborn. So I wasn't even thinking JK. And I remember me and my friend were sitting there in the theater, like watching this during the press screening. We're like, oh my God, it's JK. And I just started hitting him. I'm like, dude, it's JK Simmons as freaking. And I remember I left and I called my girlfriend. I'm like, holy fucking shit, it's JK fucking Simmons. Like,
you spoiled her?
She doesn't care. Spider-Man's like literally her least favorite superhero, so she didn't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she doesn't give a shit. But yeah, I was like, holy shit, it's fucking JK, man, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
All right, João, how about you?
Actually, I had the reverse experience. Like my friends went to see it with me. They all knew he was going to be in there, and they kept telling me around the film, so I knew he was going to appear. I love that he's back, man. I love that he's back. He's great. He's one of the best part of the original films. Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you guys think he's going to be a major part, though? Or do you think it's just going to be a cameo for each one?
I think it's going to be a cameo. I don't know if he's going to have much of a great appearance, especially because I don't think Peter Parker is going to be working at the Daily Bugle soon. I mean, at least on these movies. Now that he's on the run.
Yeah, I think so too, because now the Daily, at least in the MCU, the Daily Bugle is more of an internet show. It's like something you put up on YouTube with news or something like that. So I don't think they need a job like that of Peter Parker when he did work for the Daily Bugle. But I'm with you guys. I love J.K. Simmons. To me, his scene in Spider-Man 2 when Peter asks if he can get a raise or if he can get paid in advance, that's the best fake laugh I've ever heard in any movie ever. It's amazing.
I fucking love him. I also
so
love
good.
when the Spider-Man suit's on his wall. And have you seen the deleted scene of him wearing it?
Yeah. 100%.
I about die every time I look up that thing. It is hands down one of the best sequences I've ever seen.
It's
I wish that wasn't cut from the film. It's really good.
Same.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be the second one or the third one?
That's the second one. The third one, and I believe it's the third one. It's also a great one where he's trying to choose the pills, and then Betty keeps ringing his desk, and he's like, "Fuck." You just know he wants to say fuck.
Which, dude, I totally forget Elizabeth Banks is in those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of like Bryce Dallas Howard
and Angourie Rice is the character that Elizabeth Banks played. Yeah, that's true. Betty Brant.
Yeah. Which she's great. She's great in Far From Home. I love her
awesome.
in The Nice Guys too. So I love, I just love this universe of Spider-Man. Yeah, I really do, awesome. Man. I really do. I cannot wait. Like, really, between this and the Batman next year, I am like so stoked to see what we're getting.
It's gonna be a fun year. So, Zach, I'm guessing you're knighting this. More JJ appearance. João?
Give me all the JJ.
Oh yeah, definitely. The more, the better.
So it's a unanimous decision to knight.
I want to ask you guys something. Do you think Sony has talked about Spider-Verse live action with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield?
I doubt it.
You don't think so? I think they've had conversations. They've had to have had a conversation about it.
Not with them at this point. I can imagine Sony as talks with the higher ups, like, could we do this one day live action and whatnot? I can believe they had those conversations, but I don't, at this point at least, I don't think they've already gone and tried to contact them.
I think they have. I think they've discussed it. Like, how do you feel about this in the future?
Maybe. João, what do you think?
To be honest, I think it's more likely to happen in a Spider-Verse film, like a animated.
Yeah, the animated one. Yeah.
So
yeah, that I can believe.
Yeah, that I think would be the best option. To have this like live action sequence inside the animated film. I don't know about a big live action film with 3 Peter Parkers. I mean, at least because the Amazing Spider-Man films are so discussed and in a way hated by a lot of people. I don't know if Sony has gone over that yet, but
I think the fan base just loves Garfield so much that I think they would still get a kick out of him coming back. Yeah,
he's great.
So I think they would be kind of unique, but because it's funny, like I know a lot of people in my age group that fucking hates Tobey Maguire. They do not like him as Spider-Man, but they would rather have Garfield back. So it's like, to appease them, you got to have both. I mean, that's how I look at it, but it'd be interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see, to say the least, in that whole part.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on to our first official topic. It's a little bit of sad news, and I got to say last Friday when we did the last show, we forgot to mention that Ian Holm, who played Bilbo in the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and Ash in the Alien movies, he sadly passed away. Yesterday, we lost another celebrity, a very renowned director, Joel Schumacher.
Didn't even know he was
old. Me neither. Joel Schumacher sadly passed away at the age of 80. I didn't read a cause of death, so if any of you...
I think it's just old age. I think it was just old age.
I think too.
I can believe it. Director of course, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, The Lost Boys, Phantom of the Opera, the original
Phone Booth, underrated.
Phone Booth, Falling Down, but the original Flatliners. Very renowned director. For me, I love Phantom of the Opera, but my favorite movie of his is The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys is probably my favorite vampire movie ever of all time. It's not even close. It's sad because like people, yes, it was ugly on Twitter, like people going over him just to trash on Batman Forever, and it's like Batman Forever is a bad movie, but it's like a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
João, how do you feel about the passing of Joel Schumacher?
I know it's very sad. It's very bad he passed away. I've never seen any of his films besides Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
You're only going up from there.
Yeah,
You gotta check out The Lost Boys.
I will for sure after this. I have to. But Batman Forever, when I was a little kid, I used to really like that film. I really did. I used to watch all the older Batman films with my parents, and I actually really like that film. Batman and Robin watching now, it's, I like to make fun of it. It's a good movie for that. But yeah, it's very sad that he passed away. And I'll make sure that I'll watch his better titles in the future.
Yeah. How about you, Zach?
It's sad. I mean, it's definitely sad. I kind of felt like an umph in me, like, oh, another one this year. Like, so it sucks. It definitely sucks. I don't hate his Batman films. I get a weird enjoyment out of them. Like, they're not the best. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't give them like a fucking A, but they're super cartoony, and that's what the studio wanted at the time. And I think it's kind of sucks that people like I think every article led with Batman director dies. And it's like I would say The Lost Boys is probably his best film, to be honest.
100%.
So yeah,
I agree. I think it's best we steer away from either knighting this or throwing it in the dungeon. It's just not the place for that.
We'll have a ceremony for him.
Yes, we'll have a ceremony with the lights. But moving on to the second topic of today's news, SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, is skipping theatrical release, and it's moving directly to VOD, PVOD, and it's going to stream on CBS All Access, which means nothing for me and João because we're not American. So why don't you start this topic, Zach?
So first off, why did they push it to 2021 for release in VOD? Did you see that? It's literally 2020. Why did you push it a whole year?
Wait, it's going on VOD, but it's not coming out this year?
No. VOD 2021. Oh. That's what I read. I looked up 3 different articles, and I was like, why are you pushing it that far back? By next year, people are like, I mean, looking at everything, we hope that people are like the theaters and stuff, but I mean, are you dumb? I'm being serious. Like, why wouldn't you release it in August when it was supposed to come out now? VOD it. It'll probably do pretty good. Like, if you're just pushing it to 2021, why wouldn't you just put it in theaters?
Yeah.
I mean, the movie's going to at least make 400 million in theaters. At least. And that's me significantly cutting it because of everything going on. Yeah. Like, this film could make, like, 600, 800 if it was, like, normal.
Mm-hmm. You think they're changing stuff in the film?
That could be a thing. Maybe the movie sucks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, SpongeBob is what is it? SpongeBob's a pansexual. What is he now? He's gay, right, or something?
What? I don't know.
Yeah, they announced him as a Pride character.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wasn't he in love like with the squirrel, the astronaut squirrel?
I don't know.
Okay, nobody knows.
He's a sponge. Does he have a dick? No. Does it come out of one of the holes?
It's in his face. It's the big nose thing. It's his dick.
You're gross. But yeah, I just think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. I mean, I'll look it up again, but I'm 100% sure that it's going VOD.
João, how about you?
I think if they wanted to put it to release it in 2021, it should be in theaters. Doesn't really make sense to put it in VOD. It's weird because a lot of movies right now go straight to VOD, because of this coronavirus thing. We got Onward, we got The Invisible Man, and I don't know. I just don't want it to usually become a trend.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I also say this? I'm actually surprised that the animation for this movie actually looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll actually give them that credit.
No, the animation looks amazing. It's true.
Yeah, and it has Keanu Reeves on it, which is another big plus. I'm not a SpongeBob fan, never was. Don't think I'll ever will be. I wouldn't have gone to see this one in theaters myself, to be honest. I'll probably watch it now that it's on VOD, but I think it's pretty stupid. Like, if you're delaying this movie until 2021, yes, put it in theaters, but also, why would you delay it to 2021?
So I found his quote. Okay. They're hoping to still put it theatrically. So it's early 2021 VOD, but if theaters and masses and all that stuff doesn't fix well. They're just gonna they want to do they would like Bob Baskis, the CEO, says on the earning to keep all options open on the table for SpongeBob film and wouldn't open theatrically unless there's a significant critical mass of screens to warrant opening the film.
Okay.
So I think there's probably still a slight chance it goes in the theaters. And deep in the film score says, why is Trolls World Tour playing in my theaters, but it went to VOD? Because it's allowed to. But it's also weird that Universal allows that film, but doesn't allow King of Staten Island because they pulled King of Staten Island from every theater that was open in Arizona.
Yeah, Universal doing Universal things. But I think it's weird, and I think it's the wrong decision to delay it to 2021 because they already started the marketing. So it has been on people's minds, but it's going to go off with people's minds. Eventually, they're going to see a new trailer if it sticks to the 2021 release date, and people are going to be like, "Didn't this come out some time ago? Completely forgot about this." And I think it's going to bite them in the ass, whether they do it VOD or whether they do it theatrically. If they throw it out in 2021, it's going to bite them in the ass.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. All right. João, how are you feeling about this? Are we knighting this decision or throwing it in the dungeon?
I personally would throw it in the dungeon just because it doesn't really make sense to delay the film. If I don't know, like, if you want to release it in VOD, release it in VOD, you know, because by now it's like, if stuff's not going to be, imagine things don't go well in October and they can't release the movie this year in theaters. Will they keep the 2021 release in VOD, or would they just put it earlier still this year, maybe for Christmas or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. You know, but again, like, I've never seen SpongeBob in my life. But I did like the trailer, so I wish it come out this year so all the fans could see it. But...
Yeah, that's true. Zach, how are you feeling? What's your
throw it in the fucking dungeon? It's the dumbest choice. If you want to VOD it. Like, that's the popular thing right now. Next week it'll probably be VR. Like, you're gonna have to buy a VR headset to watch these movies. Which, you know, that's a thing. If you can buy VR movies.
Really?
My friend bought I think Fast and Furious 7 in VR. He said it's weird. He said it's weird.
Well, go ahead.
Is it just the screen, or is it like full VR?
It's full VR.
Oh
wow.
That's weird. It's really weird.
I'm with you guys. I'm throwing this one in the dungeon. Stupid decision. Like, is SpongeBob? No, SpongeBob is Paramount. It's not Universal. Otherwise, I was going to say shit about Universal. Never mind that. Moving on. So Disney. And this doesn't count again for me and João because our country is not.
Wait, before we move on.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a feeling Universal is literally going to say, "Fuck, we're gonna put Fast and Furious on VOD." They're gonna put a big film. They're gonna put a big film. I will laugh my head off because they're losing it if they do that. It's their loss. That's my thing. They are losing it, but I think they are going to try it. But if you really weirdly noticed, they're not saying anything about King of Staten Island box office. Remember how confused they were on Trolls? I think King of Staten Island probably made some money, but not as much as it would have made in theaters.
Yeah, 100%. So for you, my American friends, and probably some other countries, I know the UK is doing cool shit as well. They got The Empire Strikes Back coming, but Disney has announced that library titles are.
Hello?
I think he froze.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll continue it.
Okay.
No, he's back.
Back.
Nope, he's lagging. Oh, no. Disney to release library titles in theaters. So let me catch this up. So he's talking about the Disney theaters. Like, they're pretty much reopening and putting a lot of their older stuff in there. Empire, Zootopia, I think Toy Story I saw in there. Avengers, Black Panther, Iron Man, a lot of cool ones. Is there any that you're excited to go see if they put any out by you?
I would love to go see Avengers Endgame as many times as I could see in theaters, just because it's my favorite film of last year, probably the film that I've seen the most time in theaters. But for me, if The Lion King goes back in theaters, just because it's the original one, obviously, just because it's one of my favorite films, one of my childhood films that I never got to see in theaters. That's an experience I would like to have. What about you, Zach?
For me, honestly, any of the Star Wars films in theaters again. That would be awesome. I went back into the theaters for the first time last week, I think, and I saw Jurassic Park, which was really cool, which is actually the #1 film of the box office this week. Like,
Wow.
so it's kind of funny. Same with Jaws. Jaws was #2.
Wow.
Like, so it was a cool experience. I like going revisiting these old films that like I didn't never got to see in theaters. Lion King's a cool one though. I never got to see that one in theaters either. Speaking of ones that I hope they do put back in, I mean the Avengers I would like to see, but I don't know if it would be the same without an audience. I'd like to see Big Hero 6 again in the theaters. I think that one would be cool. But personally, I think those 2D animation classics like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Robin Hood, Lilo and Stitch, and like you said, Lion King, I think those are the ones that would really make me go back and see it. Oh, Ren's back. Ren, I handled the story.
Sorry, guys. Thank you. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We were just talking about what Disney films we hope to see going back. Had they announced? Did you have a list of films that were going back?
I had quite a few of the ones we were going to be on. So the original Avengers, The Empire Strikes Back, Black Panther, Deadpool, Zootopia, The Greatest Showman, Iron Man, The Force Awakens, and Inside Out are a few of the titles we are going to be on in theaters.
I dig it. Which one do you hope to go see if you can?
The Avengers. Amongst this list, specifically the Avengers, 100%.
I want Zootopia.
Me too. I mean, I want them all.
Was Big Hero 6 on there? Did you say Big Hero 6? Or
no. I'm not saying it's not on the list. It's not on the list of stuff they're going to throw out, but it's not on this specific list that I got.
That one would have been cool.
Yeah, João, what would you like to see?
Out of that list, Inside Out, I never
Inside
saw it
Out's
in
cool,
theaters. Would be so cool. It's visually amazing, that film. One of my favorites from Pixar. The Avengers, like you said, or Empire Strikes Back, out of that list, are the best ones for sure.
Depending on when you go back to the UK, you might be able to catch The Empire Strikes Back because they're playing it next month at least.
I love that they do like revisiting old films because it got me to see Alien for the second time in theaters.
Nice.
And it was one of the best cinema experiences I've ever had because the sound in that film is amazing.
So good. I remember I missed that because it was on Cineworld. They were playing it, and I only noticed in the website that they were playing it on the day after. And I noticed it for that. I had just missed it. I noticed it for that and for Jaws. I missed those two. But I did go see The Big Lebowski on the big screen.
Oh, lucky.
It's so good. It holds up so well. It's my favorite comedy of all time.
Incredible. That movie's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So, gents, are we knighting Disney releasing classic movies?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I will say, I hope there are more of a selection. It'd be cool if they had like a website that you could go vote on. Like, what do you want to see? Because I don't want to. I really hope they don't start throwing out, hey, let's put a Beauty and the Beast, a live action back in there. You know,
I'd go see it.
I wouldn't. I want to see the animated version.
I have a funny story about Beauty and the Beast live action. It was the only film I've ever went to see in theaters that did this. Like, we watched the first 5 minutes, and then the theater froze, and we stood there for like half an hour because someone was watching the film with a ticket for another movie in the theater, and they had to went through everybody, and then we started the film from scratch and watched it all.
They're that strict. They were that strict.
I don't know. They did search everybody. They like asked to see the tickets.
Was this in Lisbon?
No, this was in Porto. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's new to me. I never knew that. All right. Again, I am knighting this, but I am knighting it with an asterisk because Portugal isn't doing any of this. So if any Portuguese important people are watching, like, do this. Go ahead.
I don't know about Disney, but I know that the Christopher Nolan movies are going to be showing in Portugal.
Look at that.
Inception, Dunkirk, and let me check because I know the rest of them.
Are these going to be at, like, the big theaters, the Nosh theaters?
I think so, yeah. Because it's the lead up to obviously.
Yeah. I'm going to watch Inception, dude. I never got to watch that in theaters.
Same. It's so cool,
Inception's the one. I already saw it in theaters, but I'd go again.
So 2nd of July, it's Dunkirk. 9th of July is Interstellar, and 16th of July is Inception. And then Tenet premieres.
All right.
It's a
before we
secret
move on-
sequel to Inception. Let's just be honest, guys.
Yeah, they're gonna show material like in the US that's exclusive to Tenet.
Well, did you see
on
Inception? That's when we're seeing Dune. They're gonna have the Dune trailer.
Yes.
Really?
And Godzilla versus Kong.
But
okay.
that comes out next year now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Godzilla versus King Kong. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Before we move on, just Kataluna says, I'd love to see the original Lion King in theaters. My favorite Disney movie of all time. I'd be down to see it on a big screen. I did get to see this one. That's why I didn't mention it, but it would be awesome to see it again. All right, so unanimous knighting. And there are two biopics that we're going to talk about, one right after the other. The most recent one, just yesterday, we saw news that Michael Mann's dream project, passion project, Ferrari has tapped, or at least is in talks to Hugh Jackman to play the notorious Ferrari owner. João, how are you feeling about this one?
I'm not very close to the story of Ferrari, but I love Hugh Jackman. I've never seen any Michael Mann's films, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Collateral, right? And Heat, I think.
Collateral, Heat. You also got Public Enemies, which is underrated. Yeah. There are many others, I'm sure.
I keep seeing the director's cut of Heat on Amazon Prime, but I always delay that watch for some reason.
Because it's a long movie.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, anything Hugh Jackman signs on, I'm interested from the start. Bad Education this year was really good. I really liked that film. Good. And
breaking news! Chicken Run sequel is going to Netflix.
Oh yeah, what? I saw that.
Oh yeah, and Mel Gibson's role will be recasted.
Ah, surprise!
What a surprise!
Shocking.
Of course.
Continue, João. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. So again, Hugh Jackman's great. Prisoners is one of my favorite movies. I think he was snubbed from Prisoners. Yeah. It totally should have been nominated. But yeah, excited to see where this goes. Need to catch up on the director's oldest films.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. It's weird. It's weird to say that. I just don't give a shit. Like I just there's nothing to this that makes me excited. Like except Hugh Jackman. Michael Mann has not made a good film in I don't know
a while.
In a while. And he's a good director. I just I don't know. Ferrari. We just got Ford versus Ferrari,
which was awesome.
Yeah, which was awesome. And I'm just like, do I really care? Like, what's it about? What's it actually about? Is it
at this point? I have no idea.
Project, Hugh Jackman going for that Oscar, maybe, but I don't know. There's just for me, I just see biopic and I'm like, there doesn't scream anything important, special to it to me, and that kind of sucks. So. But yeah, that's how I feel.
I understand that. I'm like you. I was like, okay, I'm into this because I like Michael Mann despite him not making a good movie since Public Enemies 2009. But it's literally what it says on IMDb is the life story of Italian sports car entrepreneur Enzo Ferrari. It's one of those that I'm interested for the start and I'll be there. Because I like the director, but at this point, at least until I see a trailer, I'm like, okay, it's another biopic. I guess I'll go see it. It'll be fine. But I'm not excited at this point. I'm interested, and I'll keep my eye open to see what else comes of this. But not excited right now. However, you ask me, I'm still going to knight the news itself of having Hugh Jackman play the main role, because Hugh Jackman is always a win.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Yeah. Do you guys think that this could be a role that gives him an Oscar nom?
Potentially, yes.
Prisoner should have been his win.
Yes, I agree.
For sure. Yeah, I would knight this too, just because of Hugh Jackman. I'm interested in seeing the story too, so definitely,
Yeah. Same. All right. In other biopic news, Jamie Foxx has been bulking up. He's like... No spoilers, but he's like Abby from The Last of Us. He's that big right now, guys. And he says he's moving forward. He was having this kind of Zoom call or Instagram Live, something like that, with a producer. And he announced that it's official that he's moving forward with the biopic of Mike Tyson, who coincidentally is about to make, or supposedly making, his boxing return. João, how are you feeling about this?
I'm very interested in this movie. I really like Jamie Foxx. Tarantino is my favorite director, and I think Django is one of the best films he has done.
Nice.
um, so yeah, I'm really excited. He's shown he's already bulking for the role. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how the film's gonna be, what style of the movie's gonna be. I don't know who's directing it. I know who's producing it.
Yeah, they haven't announced the director.
But this project, I think, has been announced in 2014, and
Yeah.
No, it's good that we're gonna get the movie. I love Jamie Foxx again, so yeah, definitely. What about you guys?
Zach?
I'm excited for this, but also hesitant. I need to see the director.
Yeah.
I mean, that I think Jamie Foxx will be great, but I mean, who's directing it? You know, I'm gonna be honest. I would like a Steve McQueen to take this on.
Oh, that's good.
I mean,
That's really good.
that's like, I know he has another film that was supposed to premiere at Cannes this year, but
He's got two.
oh, does he? Okay,
He's
that
got
makes me
two
excited.
movies.
I think they're a part of a TV show, actually.
Oh,
Oh,
This
But-
hour and a half episode long episodes.
are both of his supposed films part of the TV show or just one?
I think they're both. They're both
Oh,
like it's a TV
Yeah.
show about black movements throughout
Okay.
history. I think especially in the UK because it's produced by the BBC.
Mhm.
Right.
And
And
I
he's
think they're
British.
both-
Makes sense.
I'll also say this about this. I actually would also really like the guy who did Creed 2 to do this film.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
something junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know who you're talking
I would
about.
dig it. I would dig it. I think there's a lot of potential good choices in here, but those are kind of the two that, I mean, show me the director and I'll probably get more excited about it. But definitely, like right now, I'm only excited because of his performance. I mean, that's going to be like the good thing here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Before we move on, just a fun detail point out by Scott Clooney. Isn't it funny how Jamie Foxx is 52 and he's playing a
It
younger-ish
doesn't look 52.
Mike Tyson? That's
doesn't
true.
look 52. I mean,
And he's
Mike
a year
Tyson
younger
looked
than
like
Tyson.
70.
That's something I was gonna say because Mike Tyson's childhood is a very interesting story because he
Yeah.
grew up in like gangs and then he went to like special school and he had to like show his true worth to be like a wrestler.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good perspective to tell this story. So maybe they do it like through different points of his lifetime, or maybe they just focus on his career. But I don't know. I would be interested in seeing the whole thing. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. And that is true. Maybe I hope they do go through the younger stuff because I think that is something that needs to be shown.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder where it ends. Does it end on him biting the guy's ear off? Would that be like the climax of the film?
That it ends when he goes to WrestleMania and he knocks out Shawn Michaels
There you go.
after joining Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's it. That's
There
how
we
it
go.
should end.
We know how it's
With
gonna
a
end.
punch- With a
Ren,
punch
how
to
about
the
you
face.
direct it? How about you direct it?
I prefer to keep my directing as far as biopics are concerned in the Vince McMahon biopic. I rather keep myself because I'm not a big fan of boxing, but I'm a big fan of boxing movies. So
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this. I also love Jamie Foxx, and Mike Tyson is a very interesting person to say the least. So I'm looking forward to this movie at this point. I'm kind of curious. But I'm also like you guys. I want to see a director first, first and foremost, before I get really pumped for this. But yeah, at this point, that's really all one can say right now. At least that's all I can say right now. So, gentlemen, are we knighting it or are we throwing it in the dungeon? Wrong.
I feel very interested for it. Again, there's no director, but yeah, I'll knight it because I'm interested to see the film with this actor, and I think it's going to be interesting at least.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait for the director.
Yeah, exactly. Zach?
I'm knighting it. Show me the director.
Yep. I make your words my own. A unanimous knighting, but do show us the director before we buy our tickets. All right. Penultimate topic of news today. The big one is still waiting, but Peter Jackson has announced that WETA, his visual effects company, has announced that they're launching an animated feature studio. They're going to make feature films. And everyone is making a big deal about this. I'm going to start this one. Everyone is making a big deal about this, and I'm like, yeah, they're going to look great, but doesn't mean the movies themselves are going to be great. It's like Illumination does great looking movies always. Every single one of their movies looks great, but they're garbage. They're awful. Like, it doesn't mean they're going to be good.
I need to see what they're making though. Like, what's WETA going to make? Like Tintin 2? Cool, give me it.
Nice. I want to see that. You're right.
But I mean, I don't know. Peter Jackson, I'm not big on The Hobbit. I really did not like any of the Hobbit films besides the first one. I thought they were all pretty disappointing.
Okay.
And then he did the documentary, was actually pretty good. But
oh yeah,
I need to see, like, I don't even know if I want him to direct these. Like, I don't know if I would want someone else to come in, like an Andy Serkis and stuff. But I need to see what he's doing. What kind of projects are going to be there? Are they kid animated films? Or are they a little bit more towards the edgier side? It's going to be interesting. Do we know what studio owns this animation studio, or is it like an independent one?
No, I think it's independent. They're not owned by anything.
So that's going to be interesting then.
Yeah, but I believe it's the creation of Peter Jackson. Like, Peter Jackson and a few of his friends in New Zealand created this.
Okay.
Yeah. João, how are you feeling?
I love WETA's work in movies. Actually, I've had this book in my uni's library. It's like a 2-part WETA concept art books. Their work is amazing. Nice. I'm a little bit with Zach, though I do like the Hobbit films. I think that their work on them is a little bit over stylized, because if you look to the Lord of the Rings and then you go to the Hobbits, it kind of looks like a different Middle Earth, at least from my perspective. Yeah. But their designs are incredible. Tintin is one of my favorite animated films, so I always wanted a sequel for that. Let's see if they get around to do it. But yeah, like you guys said, they're gonna look amazing, but let's see who they tap on to do these projects, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because everyone was freaking out, like, in a good way. And not to take anyone's happiness away, but it was just weird, because they're going to look great, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, who is going to be writing? I think it's just too soon for anyone either to be excited or to be detracting it, even though it feels like I'm the one doing that right now. I don't want it to come across that way. I'm just not seeing anything to be excited for, but I'm also not seeing anything to be against it, because it's at least going to look fan-fucking-tastic. That's for sure. Zach, are we knighting this, or are we throwing it in the dungeon?
I'm going to knight it. Just your first project would be fucking a masterpiece.
Exactly. João?
I agree. I'll knight it, but let's see how it proceeds. Let's see the directors that are working on this.
Yeah, same here. I'm knighting this, but I want to see them proving us right by throwing out a banger first. All right, gentlemen.
You're the banger.
I am. How do we even start with this last?
I'll
topic?
start with this. All
right.
Hot diggity dog. Fucking come back as Batman. Michael fucking Keaton, man. I'm so fucking excited for this. I think this is great. So Michael Keaton returns as Batman for the Flashpoint movie. Fucking bravo. Just fucking whoever's idea that was, they should get a fucking raise.
All right. There's a few details that we have public on the news. Nothing that I've heard anywhere else, but this info came out. I believe I saw it on the fandom page, and it came out through Eric Davis, who works for the Rap. The plan is to have Batman as a mentor figure, like Nick Fury in the MCU. He will be placing Affleck as the DCU's main Batman / Bruce Wayne. He will appear in multiple DCU films, like small cameos, at least small roles. Batgirl is rumored to be the future DCU's younger Bat figure. Batman and Batman Returns are possibly made canon, at least at this point. That's what it's sounding like. Ben Affleck is 1,000,000% done as Batman. Snyder Cut will be the final appearance of Affleck, and they're going to most likely bring Keaton in via Multiverse. He's going to stay as the main DCU Batman because he's not going back to his own universe after it's all over, apparently. And last but not least, Robert Pattinson's Batman is completely different and separate. It lives in its own universe, separate from the main DCU. What the hell? What the fuck is going on, dude? they keep just trying to reinvent the wheel. There's like a perfectly good wheel right here, and they're like, no, this doesn't look good. We gotta keep reinventing the wheel. We gotta keep tweaking it. It's just, up until yesterday, I was super excited for DC fandom. Right now, they're gonna give me a headache with this event. They're gonna make me confused about everything going on. Yep. I don't like I'm being too nice. I despise that the first Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint.
You know what, though? Can I say this, though?
Go ahead.
I've come around on the idea of it. At first, I was the same way with you, but I think their universe is so fucked up. Their universe is completely fucked up.
That's why it's not going to work.
But the Flashpoint was used in the comics to re-energize everything. And I think the thing with this Flash movie is you can't just do an origin story because there are so many people that have watched the show. And there are a lot of people who also haven't watched the show. But I think nowadays you don't need to do these typical origin stories to give us that. And I think doing Flashpoint as kind of a big, let's get everyone together type film also works. I'll also say this. I think Cavill's cameo is in this film too. I think Cavill was okay. I think Cavill will be in this film.
I hope so too. Like at this point, I hope to see him anywhere. But to me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work on several fronts. Like dramatically, you don't know this version of the Flash. He has been a supporting character in one movie. You don't know any of his family. You don't know any of his trauma. And you got to separate what you know about actually the character of the Flash from this version of the Flash. Like you haven't spent any time with him, with his mother. You don't know anything about his dynamic with the Reverse Flash. You don't know anything about this supposed new Bruce Wayne that is going to come on to the scene, so you won't feel his pain. The Flashpoint is a big event that works because they've spent years and years and years establishing specific versions of certain characters, and those specific versions are the versions that play a big part in the story. Dramatically, that's why it works. I think this being a first Flash movie, being Flashpoint, it's going to probably look great. It's going to be pomp and circumstance, it's going to be fireworks, and it's going to look awesome, but it's going to feel very hollow. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I just don't see a way of them doing this right as a first movie. João, how are you feeling about this?
I agree with you. My main concern right now is that the film's going to feel so crowded. You're going to have Batman. Maybe you have Superman, like you said, Zach. And maybe you have... Because in the comics, you have, I think... I haven't read Flashpoint yet.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
You have
Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Yeah.
And then it's like, you don't know this Flash very well yet, like you guys said. I don't think I'm going to be as attached to him as I'm going to be some of the other characters. Like if Jason Momoa's Aquaman shows up in a different way, or if Wonder Woman shows up in a different way, that's going to be more interesting to me. I think. I don't know how the film's going to play out. For this film in particular, I'm excited to see the director. That's Andy Muschietti, I think, still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really like both It films. Let's see, because they keep changing, right? And no, I'm excited to see that. When it comes to Michael Keaton, I don't know what's going on because we have Ben Affleck next year in the Snyder Cut, and then we have Robert Pattinson's Batman, and I was like, I'm fine with this. You know, I have two, and now we have another one. You know, I think this can be confusing to some people, because you know, not everyone reads comics or is familiar with things like multiverse or different timelines. I don't know. Seeing three different Batmans on the same media, it's a little bit weird for me, at least.
I'm gonna be honest. Snyder Cut ain't gonna be main to the main populace. I will say though, Pattinson in that it's the weird one to have two Batmans going at the same exact time. Because I mean, we all know Keaton's not gonna be in just one film. You get Keaton back, it's not a fucking cameo. And if it is a cameo, or like not, I mean, if he only has one scene in Flashpoint, I'm gonna be pissed. because then it got spoiled. But then I know there will probably be more for the future. But like, this is something that like, it's not a secret for a reason. Like, this is some big casting role. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it's different, and I think I have a feeling they've discussed it. And I was reading reports that, like, to be honest, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Batman hasn't been in the script for years, since Rick was on board. I guess that's the last time his Batman was even introduced. So, you know, I trust Andy Muschietti. I trust him. Again, is it weird that they're doing Flashpoint first? Yep, but they got to fix their universe. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah, it's. I was having a conversation with two of our fans last night on Twitter. I think at least one of them is watching right now. And we were talking like multiverse for DC or for Marvel, if that's any concern, could work. But you have to properly establish at least one universe first. And they're just backpedaling all the time. They like take a step forward and then immediately they take 2 steps back. It's like for the last few days, and since last week with the DC fandom, and they're announcing all these movies, they're going to have panels for them all. I'm like, yes, cool. They're finally going to have a convention. I'm rooting for them. And then they do this, and I'm like,
you know, this is going to be announced there, right?
Yes, it's hard at this point to root for them, even though I still want to. I'm not against them. I don't think I'll ever be against them. I don't think I'll ever be against a studio wanting to bring comic book properties to life. But I'm like, just chill. Do things right. Yes.
Chill.
Don't be in a rush.
Do you guys think that if the Snyder Cut is very successful and it, you know, finishes in a cliffhanger, who continues the story, Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton now? Because you can tell Michael Keaton is much older than Ben Affleck.
We've talked about this. I actually really do think they'll do animated.
Okay.
I think you could get Ben back for a voice. Do you guys describe? I think Ben would do a voice.
I don't think he'll ever come back in any way, shape, or form. But if there ever was a chance of him coming back, it would have to be as a voice.
Okay. Okay.
So what are your guys' thoughts / fears come DC fandom? João, let's start with you.
I'm excited to see how the TV shows are working right now, because I've stopped watching The Flash 2 seasons ago and all the other shows. But I'm excited what they see with what they do with Stargirl. I think that's one of the newest TV shows. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see more of Wonder Woman 1984. It's one of my most anticipated films for this year. So yeah, and possibly new games as well, right? Because that's something.
That's true. Zach?
I'm so fucking excited for this. There's so much potential that you could do with this, and I think it's very smart to bring in the multiverse conversation in a sense. And, you know, if Doctor Strange gets pushed back again, I mean, this could be the first multiverse thing they touch on, if you really think about it.
True.
I get it, they do need to have an established universe, but I think these characters we know are already enough established that I think they have a plan. And if anyone follows Umberto on Twitter, he's tweeted out, DC finally has a plan. Just let them do their thing. So
I want to see that plan.
I do
I'm
too.
just not seeing it.
But I think this is a smart way. Seg Ben out, seg Jared Leto out, seg everyone else in. And then if you really want to, you could bring Pattinson in. Just a multiverse thing. But I mean, there's more things that we can talk about, but me and Ren can't talk about it in public.
No, there's one thing that I can talk about, but there's no time in this episode, so I'll just announce it. So if I forget in the meantime, you guys can call me out next week on the live chat. But I have info about what the live-action Deathstroke movie would have been, with Joe Manganiello, directed by Gareth Evans.
Why aren't you saying that right now?
We can because I want to tease next episode.
Was Gareth Evans supposed to be in it?
He was writing it, and he was directed it.
I had no idea this film existed.
To be honest, I think we could still, and we're not going to get that at all. Like, that's completely gone.
No, that's gone. That's why I can talk about it.
Okay.
Dude, that fucking pisses me off. It's gone forever. Like, we're never getting. That just pisses me off. That's like perfect fucking thing.
never say never, but there's an animated Deathstroke movie coming out this year, next month, and it's a lot like what that movie would have been.
Oh, really?
It just
See,
looks
I'm just wondering. Honestly, I just want Joe as Death, though. I just want him as Deathstroke. Like, I hope we still get that because I think they were setting up a lot of cool things. Apparently, he has a big scene in Justice League, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I hope it's not in a tank. Let's keep it at that.
Oh God, Arkham Knight garbage.
All right. But as far as the return of Michael Keaton itself to the role, I am nodding it. Like I'm not the biggest fan of those Batman movies, but Michael Keaton, come on, I like him, I love him. So the fact that he's coming back to the role itself, I'm nodding it. Zach,
would you guys? I'm knighting it, but would you rather have Jeffrey Dean Morgan or Michael Keaton?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, to be honest.
If it's one film, yes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. If it's not, I'd rather have Keaton because and that's the thing. Just because what I'm assuming is so the Flash goes back, saves his mom, comes back, different universe. That's the comic, right? That's the whole basic concept of it. What else will be different?
Yeah, because I did say Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but I'm like I wouldn't want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
And for me is, do you just have Keaton's Batman come back? Or is everyone else from that universe?
Yeah.
Segued in? Because I'll be honest, I don't want a Jack Nicholson fucking coughing. Well, isn't he dead? He died in the back.
No. Oh, yeah.
Joker died, yeah.
The Joker died. Not Jack Nicholson. But Joker died.
No, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So I hope it's more of a thing that I can't get into it. I'll have to wait and see if that thing gets announced. So just, it's tough. It's tough to talk about.
I know what he's talking about. Joel, how are you feeling?
About Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I don't know, because I'm so used to see him as Negan now in The Walking Dead, and it's two different poles, you know. But like, I think it would be interesting. He's already in the universe, you know, so it kind of makes more sense to me to pull him back. I like Michael Keaton. I like that he possibly will be like doing Vulture and Batman at the same time, so we get him in both Marvel and DC. So yeah, I would knight it with caution though, because right now I feel a little bit iffy about the Flashpoint film.
Yeah. All right.
Watch be the best in the DCU.
Better than Man of Steel? I doubt it, good sir.
I actually
Probably the
agree.
biggest event they ever have. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. All right, everyone, we're going to go now to your live questions. So start to throw them on in the comments. We already got a few ones going on. So let's start with Deep in Film Score. Did you know sound mixing and sound editing are combined? Yes, we addressed it on the show a couple of weeks ago. João, you weren't here, so why don't you give your thoughts on it?
Okay, so initially, I think that the people who chose it are people from Sound, right?
Yeah.
My initial reaction was like, "This is bad. Why are they separating? It's like two different things, you know." Especially working with sound designers and everything, and they always get pushed to the side. It's unfortunate because, like, at least in film school, nobody wants to do boom operating or sound because it's like this. And then, but the people who really love it are really good, and like it feels bad to me to put it all in with the same box. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if you put like more the people who work in the different departments getting all the Oscars, you know, for that same category, I think that still works, you know, and it shortens the time of the transmission of the Oscars as well. I just don't want them to shorten the appreciation that this category also deserves. Because it's just as important as any other role, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had to do a lot of boom operating while in film school, and it sucked. That's why it's not my area of expertise, and I sucked at it. All right, Deep in the Film Score asks, what's your favorite Knives Out character? I rewatched it yesterday. Not as thrilling, still great. All right.
Kick him out. Lock him.
Zach, start us off on this one.
For me, honestly, Ana de Armas's character. I mean, so great, so wonderful. But if we're going, Chris Evans. Chris Evans should have been. Actually, I take Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig fucking destroyed that role. So I'm going with Daniel Craig.
Yeah. João?
I'll take Ana de Armas. I think what they did with her throwing up every time she lied. It's so funny and it works so well. And yeah, I think she's the best character in the film. I also love Daniel Craig. First time I watched that film, I would laugh so many times when he spoke to the other people because I'm not used to seeing Daniel Craig with that accent. And I was like, whoa. That was no, but it's a great film. Actually, one of my best friends watched the film yesterday and he hated it. We were having a discussion about it this morning. No,
Well, I hate him now.
Yeah, I love Knives Out. I'm probably gonna say Daniel Craig too, but special shout out to Toni Collette. She's awesome in that
Tony
movie.
Collette's good in it too. They're all good. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
everyone's fantastic.
They're all great.
Deep in the film scores. Did you know Roger Deakins made the visual effects for Rise of the
Hello?
Guardians? I did not know that.
No wonder that movie's pretty
Visual
good.
effect. Yeah, that movie. I love that movie. I think it's extremely underrated.
I do too.
Deep in Film Score asks, Ren, have you seen American Horror Story? You should. I saw the first 2 episodes of the first season, didn't like it, so I threw it out on my list to watch. I know every season is different, but it's just, from what I see of the shows, it's just something that doesn't appeal to me. Jerome, have you seen any of the seasons?
I really like season 1. I think I watched it when I was really young. I was like 12 years old. It was one of the first horror themed either movies or TV shows that I've ever seen. But funny enough, every other season I would watch like the first episode and I would bail. It just didn't do it for me.
Hey, I'm the same fucking way. That movie or that show, just every season, just I don't even know what the
And
fuck
they
they're doing
even
now.
did a found footage one.
Yeah, and that one, you know what? I like that one. I didn't hate that one. That's actually probably the last one I actually finished.
Okay.
But it was also less episodes, so I think that's also why I stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that shows.
All right. Do you know in the Crisis, Gustin's Flash said to Miller that he should be called the Flash? Yes, that's something that when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he doesn't actually call himself the Flash in Justice League, and nobody else calls him Flash in Justice League. But I don't know. The Snyder Cut could change that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Did you watch Crisis, Zach?
I couldn't get through it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Jean, did you watch Crisis?
I haven't watched Crisis yet because I still have to see the last season of Arrow.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Don't jump into it without watching Arrow.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'll say get back on the Flash. Skip season 4, which you stopped watching because of season 4. Season 4 is ass. Skip season 4.
4 is where it stopped
I've seen it. I'm on season 5 now. Yeah.
Season 5 is really good. I really like season 5.
Season 4. That was the guy in the chair, right?
Yeah, that was
that was terrible. That was absolutely one of the worst seasons.
Deep in the Film's core asks, is the Batman part of the multiverse?
I mean, everything is.
Yeah, you gotta think so at this point, right?
Yeah, they all are. Could you imagine? Think about this. Could you imagine if they did this, where like 10 years from now, they have a giant Infinite on Crisis Earth, and you see Doom Patrol, Titans, CW all come in? I could see them doing it.
You saw exactly that in Crisis on the CW.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If they did it movie-wise, could you see them actually coming into the same world and fighting?
Depending on if the shows are canceled at that point or not.
You never know. They can still bring them back.
Yes, I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying if they're canceled at the point that happens, if that happens, I won't be so sure, but I'm not saying it's impossible.
Can we just say, how is he still in the movie, though, Ezra Miller? I mean, there has to be more behind the story that we don't know. I mean,
just what are your quick thoughts? Because I haven't talked to you about the Ezra Miller fiasco. Let's call it that.
I don't really like Ezra Miller as an actor, besides the perks of being the wallflower. I've seen, because like I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and Fantastic Beasts. The Crimes of Grindelwald, his character is one of the worst parts of the film for me, just because it's very shoehorned.
Not JK's tweets?
Yeah. JK just speaks out without nobody asking her anything right nowadays. It's weird, but I'm not a big fan of his version of the Flash. I prefer Grant Gustin's by a mile. And I would love if they joined everything. Like, I know they've done Flashpoint in the Flash TV show, but if they didn't and they wanted to bring this actor to the big screen, sorry, I would love them to do it with that, because I think it would work much better with that Flash instead.
Yep. They can do it again. It's not like they can't do it again. They have several speedsters. Even if Barry doesn't do it, someone else will. Like, what if Flashpoint instead of Barry was caused by the Reverse Flash?
They can do that.
Yeah, why not? All right.
He could do it on accident. Think about it. What if he's fighting Reverse Flash and they go too fast back, and he notices he's at his time, and he goes, "I can save my mom and capture Reverse Flash."
Yeah. And also, if you do a sequel to The Flash, call it Too Flash to Furious. I dare you. I fucking dare you. G. Colby P.S. What are your thoughts on the term guilty pleasure? Should you feel guilty for liking a movie that people didn't like or despise? Shouldn't you just like what you like? I think that's taking the term too literal. Personally, I never felt literally guilty about liking a film. It's like when you watch a movie, for me, there's two things you need to separate. But if you're grading them, they come together. It's complicated. But there's recognizing something as good or well made, at least on a technical aspect, and there's not liking it. Like, I know several people close to me that recognize the technical and filmmaking brilliance of The Godfather, but it's just a movie they don't like. They don't find themselves wanting to watch it again. Once
That's
is enough.
Citizen Kane.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly. So it's like my guilty pleasure is Dirty Dancing. There's a lot of bad stuff in that movie. The acting is not good. The sound mixing is awful. Speaking of sound mixing, it does not hold up. The dialogue is some of the worst you've seen. It's like TV soap opera bad at points. But I have fun watching it. Here it comes. All right, Zach, let us know the brilliance of Serenity.
Guilty pleasure right here, man. One of the worst films I've ever fucking seen. But I will watch it every day if I needed to. You will never have a sex scene between two actors and one pulls out and says, "I win." Again.
Have you seen Serenity, Joel?
No, but I've heard a lot of these things, and
Zach,
it looks
don't tell him.
interesting.
You need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's literally I took my friend to the press screening. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, this is gonna be boring as fuck. And it was literally the most entertaining screening I think we've ever gone to. Like, even rivaling like Endgame, like, for us.
I've seen the Ghostbusters remake on a theater where it was just me and two of my friends, nobody else.
Wow.
Because there was nobody there, we made fun of the film throughout because we didn't like it and the gadgets were so weird.
I like that movie.
I'm sorry, man, but it's
all good. I know you can make fun of it. It's not that good.
Yeah, for me, I think guilty pleasures. The Mummy trilogy with Brendan Fraser. I really like those films.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to guilty pleasures, guilty pleasures are more like, they're just films that, like, you don't feel guilty necessarily, but you should. Like, I should not like Serenity. That's straight up one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. And then I just watched a really strange movie yesterday that I can't talk about yet, but that's gonna be a lot of people's guilty pleasure. It's not a great movie. It's not a great movie, but it's very fucking weird. It's really weird. I gave it the grade I gave it because of like one running joke in it. Okay. Because I fucking loved it so much. Like, the payoff to it was fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. Like, that joke, which, again, not a great movie. My review will come out tomorrow for what movie it is, but it's not a good movie. But it's a guilty pleasure because it's entertaining in a weird way.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not going to say what it is. I know what it is. The person stopped replying to me. Oh. I sent that first message, let's say, and the person asked who I was working with, and I said I was freelance. I sent them certain links, and they didn't reply back. So that's the end of that. All right. Deep in the Film Score asks, what two other villains should be in the Batman? I'll start this one. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I want to see Clayface in live action. Yep. Clayface can be such a cool villain. And I don't think at this point you should introduce this one in the first movie, but give us Mr. Freeze, please, a good live action Mr. Freeze.
I'm gonna say I think they could have Mr. Freeze in it.
but
as-
like as Mr. Freeze or just Victor Freeze?
No, as Mr. Freeze.
All right.
And I have a perfect casting for it.
Michael Fassbender. I knew it.
No, Pablo Schreiber.
Wouldn't you want Pablo Schreiber as like Bane or something like that?
I wouldn't mind it, but I think Mr. Freeze he could kill.
I think he's too big and too bulky.
That's why
for-
I look at it. I'd like him to be Mr. Freeze, big, bulky man. But I'm with you, Mr. Freeze, and I wouldn't mind them having a Poison Ivy.
That's good too. That's good
But
too.
I've been saying I want Clayface in this, man. I
Yeah.
want Clayface so bad.
Same.
Do you know who my friend wants is Hugo Strange?
Hugo Strange would be cool as well.
Mhm.
But the perfect person to play Hugo Strange has passed away, unfortunately. He's no longer with us. Because I think Robin Williams would have
Yep,
been
That would have
amazing
been mine.
as
Yeah.
Hugo Strange. João, what two villains would you like to see?
I like Bane and maybe Hush. Maybe. I don't
That's
know.
good.
Those
Yeah.
are
I
the
don't
good
know.
ones.
I'm interested to see what we get with the Riddler because I've just watched There Will Be Blood, and
Oh, yeah.
Paul
Was it your
Dano
first
is- Yeah, it was my first time. Yeah.
Nice.
I was really surprised with the film overall, but I
Mhm.
really like Paul Dano, and he
Yeah.
always does these roles where he gets punched like hell, either if it is There Will Be Blood or Prisoners.
Yeah.
So I get maybe he's punchable, and that's why they cast him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Nah, he's
Um,
good. He's good.
He's
Yeah.
good. That movie, by the way, is my favorite performance of all time in any film with Daniel Day-Lewis. He's fantastic.
Amazing.
Deep in the film score, do you think Arrowverse failed because they're limited to TV 14? They have like 7 shows at this point. I don't think they failed. What do you guys think?
They're not.
I mean, whether you
failed.
like them or not, they're still going. So clearly not a
They're
failure.
not TV, but almost everything on TV is TV 14.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's the highest rating you can get. If you get to M, it has to be on cable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no. I don't think they failed because I think they failed because they have too many fucking episodes. That's why they fail. And then
Yeah.
it drags, and then, yeah.
I agree with it being 24 episodes might be a bit too much. I don't think they fail at all. Arrow season 2 is one of my favorite seasons
I
in
agree.
TV.
Yeah.
It's so good. And both Arrow and The Flash, I think, are really good, especially season 1 of The Flash and 2. So I think they did very well with these TV shows, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Though I am in the minority that I think Flash season 1 and 2 are fucking amazing, but I do think Arrow season 1, 2, and 3 are really fantastic.
I agree with you. I think Arrow 1
I
through
don't
3
like
are the best seasons of Arrow yet. Or the
Yeah.
best seasons of the Arrowverse.
Have you guys ever noticed how the 4th season of both those shows is just ass?
Yeah.
Come the 4th season, they just dropped the ball. Scott Clune asks, chances we see Grant Gustin's Flash in this movie if they explore the multiverse properly, which they won't. They could poke fun at how Ezra appeared in the show and say, who are you and who are you, etc. I would love to see it. Like, bring
They're
me
going to
more
do it.
Grant
They're going to
Gustin.
do it.
Yeah.
They're going to do it. I mean, if they don't, they're dumb.
João?
You see, I don't know, because then you have 3 Batmans or 2, and then you have 2 Flashes. How many Wonder Womans? It's gonna be like, I don't know if you can fit all of that in 2 hours, 15 minutes, or what it is.
Is it going to be that? It's probably gonna be like 2 hours and 35. Let's be honest. It's the it's the DC.
It's WB.
I don't know. I don't know because the films are not doing. Because let's say, like critically wise, Batman v Superman. Even though I like that film a lot, it didn't do that well in the critic wise as Birds of Prey did. Birds of Prey is a much smaller film, but it wasn't as box office successful as the other ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
It'd be cool to see them together. I know they have met in Crisis, but yeah.
I also just want to see Grant Gustin go into movies because I think he's an amazing actor. Even though I want to see him as a Flash, I can't wait for the show to be done for him to explode, hopefully, onto the big screen. Deep in the Film Score asks, what is your expectation for the post-credit scene of Morbius? That's a good question. João, let me put you on the spot. We'll start with you.
I think they're gonna push Sinister Six, and we're gonna get a build up for that. Either that or the next Venom film, because that's being shot already or was being shot. I think because Sony during the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that, they always wanted to do Sinister Six, and then coming to the Spider-Man game, again with the same storyline. I think they haven't dropped the bone, and that's what they're gonna go with. Don't know what's gonna happen with Tom Holland films if they do it, if they're gonna crossover or not. But I think that's what they're going for. Maybe that scene in the trailer is the post-credit scene. You know what I mean? When he sees Vulture.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, it's Sony, so I wouldn't be shocked at all
if they did that though. I will be fucking pissed.
I mean, it's not the first time.
It's not the first time, but I'll be so pissed. I will be so mad.
Sure.
My expectations. Do you guys remember the post-credit scene for Amazing Spider-Man 2? How it was an X-Men Days of Future Past commercial?
Yeah.
That was fucking funny. That was funny. I was so pissed too at that. As a post-credit scene for Morbius, I don't know, because they didn't mind pushing it and having Venom 2 come out first.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's time to film something. I have a feeling, it's Madam Web.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I have a feeling that's why we've already gotten hints that Charlize Theron and Amy Adams are being looked at, because I think, it's kind of a perfect spot to drop her in.
Madam Web should be Helen Mirren, not Charlize Theron.
I don't know, dude. If Charlize Theron can do anything.
Even though I agree, but I just
maybe I'm just done with Helen Mirren at this point. I'm just done with her. Like, she just wants to do Fast and Furious movies and the Winchester, and it's just like, whatever, you want to do that, cool.
Okay, I predict that post-credit scene we will see a giant screen on a building, and JJJ is going to come on and say, now there's vampires walking around, and there's this weird dude walking around killing vampires. They call him the Daywalker, and there's the silhouette of Mahershala Ali as Blade, and that's the tease for the next movie. If the movie is on the MCU, if like throughout the movie you understand that it is on the MCU, I can totally see that happening.
Man, I would freak the fuck out if that happened.
Sure, you're going to say something.
Because then won't that J.K. Simmons scene be the scene he shot already? So it would be that post-credit scene, and then he would be on Spider-Man 3.
Honestly, I think he's going to be in Morbius, Venom, and I think he's going to be kind of the interconnective thing.
Oh, I remembered. It could be Blade as well.
Yeah, that's what
or Moon Knight. I actually think Blade's going to show up in Moon Knight.
Me too, but I don't think they would tease a TV show on a movie. Like, I know they're going to be connected and all, but before the TV shows really get going, I don't see them teasing on a movie TV show.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Zach Pope asks, would you rather watch Smash Bandicoot or Jack and Boobster? I'm a boob guy, so Jack and Boobster for me.
Nice.
How about you, Zach?
Oh, I gave you this question. I don't need to answer it.
Yes, you do. I'm the boss around here.
Smash Bandicoot. I died laughing when that was in The Last of Us.
João, what do you think? Which one do you...
I guess Jack and Boobster. I don't know.
All right. PS5, you know what to do. Dimitri Scott asks, would you screw, marry, kill? I like this one. Black Widow, Pepper Potts, or Captain Marvel? Easy for me. Kill Pepper Potts, marry Black Widow for life, because every night. And Black Marvel, Jesus Christ. Captain Marvel just once, because she has immense cosmic power. So I don't know if that's going to go well or wrong, but that's what I choose. João.
Screw Captain Marvel, kill Pepper Potts, and marry Black Widow.
Okay, so same answer. Zach?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I answered your question.
Fine. Everything you guys just said. I mean,
it's unanimous, everyone. Okay. Jacoby P.S. What are your thoughts on Kristen Stewart being cast as Princess Diana in the new biopic? I've seen so many people already say she's miscast. Before the movie's even out yet, people should give her a chance. I agree. I like it. She's a great actress. She can play anything. I don't know how good a British accent is, but I'm all for it. Zach?
Obviously, they haven't seen any of the movies she's been in then. So after Twilight.
Yeah, Personal Shopper, everyone. Watch Personal Shopper. Joel?
Sure. Personal Shopper is really good. I really come to like that actress. I think, like you guys are saying, people are still a little bit traumatized about Twilight. When I was a kid, I had a completely different perspective on those films because when I rewatched them at a party last year or so, they are so bad, but so cringeworthy. Like, you can really make fun of those films, and seeing her evolution as an actress is really outstanding. No, I think she's great. She'll probably do well in the movie, and yeah, I think she's good.
Yeah, I agree. Scott Cluna asks, what actor broke the typecast title best, in your opinion? Or what was the best out-of-personality performance shocked you from an actor who would give passable performances after performance? So, which person, was cast for a role and you did not see that one coming, but it surprised you? Zach?
So I have two. Aaron Taylor Johnson in Nocturnal Animals. I would have never seen him in that. And then Logan Marshall Green in Upgrade. I would never have expected him in a role like that.
Yeah. Wow. I am drawing a blank. I know that I've been surprised.
Just like you shoot blanks.
Wow. Oh, I know. It's not like this is the first type of role that he played this way, but Ryan Gosling is so much more known for being subtle or dramatic and understated. But him and Nice Guys, movies like Nice Guys and the one he did with the doll, I'm blanking on the name. I'm going to let you guys continue while I search for that movie, because that movie is so fucking funny.
So,
do you have any?
Yeah, for me, it's Dakota Johnson in Suspiria.
Oh, nice.
I went from she did 50 Shades of Grey, and I was like, nope. and then I see her in Suspiria now. She's really good.
She's good in High Note too. Everyone should go check out High Note. That was an underrated movie this year.
And Bad Times at the Royale.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Very, very good film too. Very Tarantino in a way, I would say.
Oh, Bill Burr in King of Staten Island. I would have never expected him to be that good.
Bill Burr in The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
That's another one.
Baby Yoda and the Baby Yodas.
The movie I was searching for was Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling. You gotta watch it. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, I love him. That's why I'm excited for the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he's gonna be able to mix that charismatic charm.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
What movie ending? Jordan Morgan asks, what movie ending straight up blew your mind more? Inception or Interstellar?
Inception.
Yeah. Inception didn't blow my mind in terms of, oh my God, never saw this coming. Inception blew my mind in the sense of, oh shit, I can't believe they're ending it on this. Interstellar wasn't exactly the ending that blew my mind. It was when he discovers that dimension that is the library and he looks into the past and whatnot. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the ending itself. So I'll have to go with Zach and say Inception. Joel?
I'm a bit mixed because emotionally, Interstellar worked more for me. I was bawling my eyes out in the end of Interstellar. Inception makes me want to rewatch the film more and more, So I guess it's a little bit of a tie for me in the two.
Yeah. Danny K Reviews asks, are you guys excited for Cobra Kai coming to Netflix? Zach?
Never seen it. Want to watch it. There you go.
Joel?
I'm on the same boat. I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet, but who knows?
I'm not interested. I've never seen it. I tried to watch it, and it wasn't for me. Not trying to say you shouldn't like it, but it's just not for me. G. Colby P asks, do you guys get uncomfortable bashing actors in a movie when their performances are bad, like Stuckman does? Especially, it's one of your favorite actors. I want to start with this one because I have worked with actors. I still am in contact with a lot of them. It's you just got to be careful about the way you speak, because when you say a performance is bad, you're not necessarily bashing the actor, because a lot of what the actor does, it's due to the direction. There's also something to be said about an actor can only do so much if the script is asked. So it really depends on how you communicate it. Like, there are many people, not to name names, but there are many people that when they don't like a movie and they don't like a performance specifically, they're like, in a review, they put it out and they say, oh, fuck this actor. And I'm like, what the fuck did that person do? They were doing a job.
Yeah. I mean,
and to be
it's
honest,
really tough when you watch a movie to completely shit on an actor. Like,
exactly.
It's really tough to, and even if you listen, when Stuckman shits on a performance, he's usually also shitting on the script and direction.
Yes.
But when the movie's decent, he doesn't shit on the performances as much. He usually kind of pinpoints where, like, okay, I would have rather seen this and this. Because I'll say this, I do not like Ruby Rose as an actress. I think she's actually not bad in The Meg. I actually think she's not bad in The Meg. And if you watch Orange is the New Black, I'm not a big fan of her either in that show. That's the best performance she's given because there was good material in there.
Yeah. João, you've worked with actors as well, from what I gather. How do you feel about this?
It's like you guys said, a lot of the times it's not their fault because the direction can be bad or worse. A lot of directors are like, just do this, and they don't go over with the actors, or the actors don't properly understand their intentions. And it's hard if by both of the ends maybe there's not as much effort as it would be. I don't like to say, obviously, if I'm casual, like with friends and such, I get to say, like, that guy was a shitty performance in that film, But when I'm like speaking out and giving or writing a review, I don't know. I don't like to say he was shit, but if it's a bad performance, I'll say it. And I don't have to say that, it's probably the director's fault. It might not be, it's a bad performance. Definitely. But criticizing because speaking out names just because it was a bad performance, that's just wrong. Definitely.
I also want to say something. I was almost forgetting about this, but depending on the director, unfortunately, it shouldn't be this way. It should be the complete opposite. But a lot of times, directors, unfortunately, don't get to go into the editing room. So the editor is there editing with a producer in big budget movies and in Hollywood pictures, and producer can't judge acting. So maybe sometimes they pick the wrong take and they pick the best looking take, but the performance itself is not the best. So sometimes what you see might not be what even the director of that film wanted.
Yeah.
Which really sucks.
Let's take, how about we take 2 of the best questions?
All right. Let's go with this one because I already put it up, so I don't want to throw it out. What classic movie for you do you think could never be made in today's world? I always go to The Breakfast Club. You just stole my answer. That movie is just so of its time and captures the vibe perfectly. How about you? Zach, let's start with you.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Never seen it.
I fucking know you haven't. I know we've talked about that.
I'm waiting for you to give me the green light.
I know. That movie, I do not think could be made. I mean, it could, and you can even argue Breakfast Club could as well. But I think in that time you couldn't, or in this time today, because like him ditching school and how elaborate it gets. I mean, nowadays, like you ditch school, you get fucking caught. It's not like some way they call your parent, they do this. There's so many different capabilities, like there's cell phones, there's all that stuff. But if we're looking at another movie than just that, I would probably say Casablanca. I don't think that film could be made today. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. João?
I would go with something like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That's
just because it's like an epic 3 hours long. There's a lot of moments that don't have action, and I think a lot of Western movies nowadays, if you exclude something like The Hateful Eight, they're all like something like the newest Magnificent Seven is, straight to the point, straight with action, and straight with that. I don't know. I feel like films are not as much. They don't take as much time as they need sometimes to tell the story that they want to tell nowadays. So I think epics will struggle nowadays to be told. And that's why you kind of see films like The Irishman going to Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Even though I would love to see some of those types of movies now on the big screen, but you mentioned this one, Zach. But probably my favorite black and white movie of all time, and it's in my top 10 of all time. Just Casablanca. It's a movie that couldn't happen like it could be made today, but it would have to be set in the same time period. As the original, because I don't think that movie works in the current era. It just isn't the same. There's no great conflict, at least like there's no Nazis at this point as like a physical organization that exists and rules over a country. Like I know there are Nazis out there. I'm not trying to say otherwise. Unfortunately, there are. All right. Let's take one more. You guys want to take another Screw, Marry, Kill to end this?
Up to you. You choose. You're the conductor.
Right. Screw, Marry, Kill. Rey Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, and Padme. Can
I start with this one?
Yeah, go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
Do you, though?
Yes.
I'm going to marry Ahsoka.
You're going to marry Ahsoka? I knew it.
Yep. I'm gonna kill Padme.
Yep.
And screw Rey. Just because, Padme sucks. Even though I love Natalie Portman. She sucks.
I'm going to kill Padme. She's too old for me. I'm going to screw Ahsoka because she's too young for me. And I'm going to marry Rey because she's just perfect for my age. Jean.
I think I'll go with the same answer. I would marry Rey, screw Ahsoka, and kill Padme.
All right.
There we go.
All right. There's one more. Let's do it since it's in the same category. Fuck, marry, kill. Ana de Armas, Elizabeth Olsen. Oh, fuck you.
That is like impossible to choose. I'm sorry.
I know I want to marry Margot Robbie, but I don't know who to fuck and who to kill. Okay, I'll tell you this. Who says this needs to be a monogamous marriage? I'm going to marry Margot Robbie and Elizabeth Olsen, and I'm going to fuck Ana de Armas. I don't have to
marry all of them. I'm just going to marry all of them.
Yeah, all right. Joao?
I'll marry Ana de Armas. I'll kill Elizabeth Olsen and F Margot Robbie.
All right. As long as you don't say kill Margot Robbie, you're still on my good. All right, everyone. That is the show. I tell you what, next week we're just going to have basically fuck, marry, kill questions because people now just saw that we will answer these questions. Everyone's going to spend an entire week like fuck, marry, kill this, fuck, marry, kill that. All right, everyone. That's our show today.
Please ask me Wally, Eva, and Sully.
I'm so afraid of next week's show. But don't forget that next week we'll talk about what the Deathstroke movie will be. We will be answering all your questions and many other things going on. João, thank you so much for joining us. Tell the people what you do and how they can find you.
Thank you so much, man. It was great having this conversation with you guys. Anybody can find me at João Magalhães 212. If anybody's Portuguese over here, go check out my podcast. It's called Fornalha. And yeah, that's it.
All right. It's not there yet, but I'll set up links for it in the description below for our Portuguese friends if anyone is watching. Zach, where can the people find you and what do you have coming up? We might have just filmed something before this.
Just find me on YouTube, type in Zach Pope. I'll be, I'm supposed to do movie reviews, but I'm going to be defending the shit out of The Last of Us Part 2 till the day I die. Me and Ren just filmed a follow-up to my friend beat The Last of Us Part 1 video, and now he beat the Part 2, so it's follow-up to that. It's going to be fun to find out Ren's thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2. Probably going to be pissed at us, so whatever, fuck it. I don't care. Game's masterpiece. I'm literally going to defend that for the rest of my life. Like, I'm at this point.
Yeah, same. You guys can find me everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ren Geekness. Many movie reviews coming up. I'm still going through my journey through the Christopher Nolan movies, except the Batman films, which I'm saving for next year. And I got something I like to think is big, probably starting up next month. You guys will know about it in time. So until then, like the video, share with your friends, and prepare those questions for next week, everyone. I will be back once more. Joel, thank you for joining us. Zach, thank you for being always here with me, my co-host. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies. Boom.